Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. Sorry about that. I forgot that my green screen was on until the camera went on. Sorry about that. For those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Laura and I'm going to do a collective reading, but this reading is also going to be for my winner, which I think I forgot the time. Thought I was supposed to be on at 6 and I don't know. I wound up coming on at 8:30. I don't know. I'm all over the place. And that happens when there's a lot going on and you're not as grounded as you should be. So, for those of you that are new to the channel, I'm going to do a shadow reading. And shadow readings, I look at everything, but we take more time to look at the spiritual blocks of shadows, see how they play those karmic themes to really help you understand why you're attracting the person that you're attracting, like why they're doing what they're doing, and how you can shape shift the reality, because a lot of times dealing with the karmic, they just keep you stuck in a place of disempowerment. So anything of any importance or relevance to the channel you find in the description box below, including the word of the video if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me. Okay, know that all readings that I do, that I give away, they're done live, but you can always ask me questions the day before. I don't need questions, so I usually just channel for you. All right, let's jump in and let's see what the word of the video is. We always look at the word of the video because that tells us the underlining energy, that why everyone does what they do. And we want to know that because when people wear masks and create facades and illusions, we don't know what their reality is. We don't know what they're thinking. We just know whatever they're doing doesn't really make sense to us. And we can also intuitively usually feel like whatever they're doing is full of shit. We just don't know why. So again, let's see what the underlining energy is. It is self-observation. So I feel like you are in separation from someone for a long time. And I feel as if you already did that, your self-observation. I'm actually feeling like this person feels that you kind of kind of cutting the cord a little bit. It's not that you don't still have feelings, but you're almost like kind of like disgusted by this person. Because again, games. And they know this because it's making them look at themselves. We want to see why else they're looking at themselves and what else is going on and what are they doing about it. Really, that's what we want to know. What the fuck are they doing about it? It's like, let's look and see what kind of relationship that it is to begin with. Sometimes it doesn't logically make sense because it's a spiritual connection, So we say, what are they thinking? What is this? I feel you pulling away and it's triggering my fears that you'll leave me for good. What did I tell you? That's why self-observation. You had to do that. You had to do that because their ego was so big. Their ego was so big they thought that you'd never leave. That's what they thought. And you're like, all I was doing was treating them the way that I want to be treated. That's all I wanted. And it's like, but you know what? This person's not confident. Now, don't get me wrong. When they were dealing with you, they acted like they were confident. Hey, Trago. Yeah, so this is, that's what they think. And you know what? You think that they're confident. They're not confident. They're not confident. They ask other people for their advice. And you know why? Because this person got in their way and that what they feel you pulling away. They feel you getting disgusted. And so now what do? They got to go and they got to ask everybody, their friends, family, whatever. And, everybody has an opinion. So they don't know how to listen to themselves. And that's because they're still trying to strategize. What we are experiencing is a part of a larger collective clearing. Don't feel alone because others are healing too. So I don't really know that this is what this person is believing. Hey, I don't know whether this is really what they're thinking. I think on a subconscious level, on a spiritual level, it's almost like spirit saying, like, yeah, this person came into your life because, again, you need clearing. Because what this is saying is what we are experiencing is part of a larger collective clearing. And so understand mass Mass consciousness is when so many people feel the same thing. And it's because they're all experiencing the same type of life experiences. So I don't think that they know. I think that the divine is saying, I long ago shut down those parts of me that wanted love and romance and intimacy, but you make me long for those things again. So again, they learned how to strategize. Hey, nature. They learned to strategize, on more than connect to their heart. So this person's not emotionally intelligent. So when you're dealing with a person that's not emotionally intelligent, guess what? They're not going to be transparent. They're going to purposely leave things out of a conversation. They're going to strategize. They're going to lie. They're going to wear a mask because they're insecure. And that's why this person took a long time to even acknowledge anything. You had to cut your energy off. You had to. You had to cut your energy off from this person where now you really are energetically pulling away. And that's not even like you consciously chose to walk away. The energetic thing is just actually what happens when you learn the spiritual lesson. The problem is this other person isn't learning the lesson. And I feel like because they're so insecure, guess what? When you cut that energy, you're going to see them again. We're going to see that. I bet you any amount of money, they're going to show up. And it's because you don't want them to. And it's because they're like, oh, rejection. I like this. Now it's like it's a psychological reversal. Again, that's what this person thinks. It's crazy that so many people are going, yeah, well, it's that because it's a mass consciousness. Hey, nature, I'm glad I started already. I also reached out to Rocco, and he was like, "You sure that it's me?" Well, guess what? It's like I'm doing it for both of you. And so I don't know if you were here for the beginning of the reading, nature, but just so that you know, it started off with self-observation, where this person's looking at themselves finally because you cut the cord. And so you're making this person look at themselves. That wouldn't have been done. It's because you're pulling away. And so now this person, yes, so many people are going through this. So part of this is that you need to clear. It's like, I'm not talking about really the couple. And then it's again, this person's insecure. They're not listening to their higher self, the God part of self. What they're doing is they're asking other people because they're insecure. So again, they shut down like certain parts of themselves, that wanted love a long time ago. So they're always strategizing. Again, they've been grounded all their life. It's hard for them to trust the spiritual element of the connection, yet they can't deny that it exists. So it doesn't mean that they haven't tried to walk away. They've tried to walk away. They can't help it. You know why? Because unconditional love is the energy of the universe. It's the energy of God. When we're in that energy of unconditional love, that means you have no control. It's like, and this is so this could have been a divine connection if they didn't fuck it up, but they have so much wounding themselves. And I say that because again, that past life karmic connection transcends all time and space. They didn't learn in a past life. I don't think they're going to learn in this lifetime either. And you're like, great, they're going to come back in another fucking life. Like, it's like, yeah, but the difference is you may be like, no dice. No dice. You wouldn't even entertain it unless they came in correct. Our love is eternal. It exists in every dimension and cannot be lost. That's again, not past life connection. And that's true because remember, it's all about learning what unconditional love is. Again, we have a perception what we think that love is, but that's a lot. Again, unconditional love, there is no attachment. There is no expectation. It's just, I do. It's like, but understand the relationship gets destroyed because of intimacy issues. So it's not that there isn't, but this person is kind of like a little foolish, where I feel like the ego, and that's what you're going to see. The person had a big ego to begin with. It's still a little there. And you know why? Because this person says like, well, I know that I can still feel you. So we still have a connection. They don't realize it's a choice after a while. You know what I mean? So that's what this person's coming for you though. And it's again, they're coming because they feel like they can fix this connection. I'm not saying that they can. It's a perception that they have. Thank you. I'm glad. And that's the thing. It's to learn what unconditional love really is. And it's that. But it's again, it says it again. Don't be tempted to disconnect from source. Our connection to source is a love and healing we require for reunion. So it's again, this is a soul connection. But if it's toxic, it doesn't mean that you have to be with this person. What it means is that you learned what unconditional love was, but you love yourself more if they're treating you in a crappy way. What we see here is that this person has a little hope, but they're also saying, like, I've been so grounded, it's hard for me to really trust. So it's really making them look at themselves and look at their why aren't I doing it? But you don't even give a shit about that because you're like, well, let's look at what they did, the triggers that you have, because it's like, dealing with this type of person that's on a low vibration that can't can't have a conversation, can't be transparent, has to strategize, you know, that they're immature, because the insecurity, it's very triggering. But the relationship is there to help for you to look at wounds that you've rejected. See, this person represents that, like parts of yourself that you detach from, disassociated from, that you don't like about yourself. And the spirit's saying it's to make you again look. Like, that person made me feel inadequate. That person made me feel not good enough. And spirit says, no one should have been able to make you do that. Unless there was fragmentation, you wouldn't have. So it's again lonely. I felt alone in the connection. And I got to the point where I'd rather be alone than actually be in a connection with someone that makes me feel alone, because it's a one-sided connection. I told you, very selfish when you're with a person like this, because they're on a low vibration. They haven't had good relationships. They don't have anything based on it. They have a big ego. So as the shield, so you coming into this person's life, that they're actually having to take down part of that ego because you're not dealing with it. And spirit says, I know what I'm doing. Trust me, I don't really care whether you're going to be with this person or not. You have free will. However, I care that you restore your energy to unconditional love, so you'll become abundant, so you can again attract what you want into your life. And I care that this person does too, restores the energy to the energy of the universe, because there is no separation. You have your moon and the stars and everything inside of you. Again, you know this, that we're all connected through that source energy. So cheating again. So you felt like, I feel like that this person was not really cheating, but more emotionally cheating. Like, you were in a relationship with someone that couldn't talk to you, but then would talk to people on the internet, would go talk to people. And that's because, again, the intimacy issue. So you'll always feel alone in a relationship like this, because they're not going to be transparent. And so intimacy is all about transparency. It's about trust on its basic level. And this person has trust issues. They have issues. So what you're going to see is a lot more attention going on to insignificant people than you. And so that's a trauma you have in childhood. Almost like a parent was nice to strangers, but wasn't nice to you. Where you're like, what the fuck is that? It's and that's because betrayal at a young age. So when betrayal happens at such a young age, what happens is that you wind up attracting people later on in life that are avoidant, that again are fragmented in that way. It's what you'll see. Yeah, had so many internet friends. Yeah, of course they did. because it's again what is that, it's that. And then so what it is that you create boundaries for your safety, and the person doesn't listen to your boundaries. They're not paying attention to how they're treating you, they're not paying attention to any of it. And you're, so of course, like, you're getting majorly triggered. But also understand this: when a person is in such a low vibration where they're like not able to be transparent, they have intimacy issues, the only way that they're going to be able to create anything is through toxic drama. And that's by trying to make you jealous so you give them more so they don't have to give. And it's because this person has those issues. So that's the problem. So you feel like really alone in the relationship, you feel disrespected, you feel, but those are traumas, almost like where like I said, like having a parent that's super nice to like strangers, but then ignores you, isn't nice to you, where you're like, wait a minute. When people make like, I have clients, and I had a parent myself where everyone was like, that parent, your mom's so nice, she's so sweet. And it was like, you don't know her. It's like you need to see this person's a completely different person in the house. But to the people closest to them, it's again, they have trust issues. But to complete strangers, no problem. Give you everything. So it's a constant like feeling of abandonment. It's really, that's what it is. And so, and then obviously your expectations, whatever expectations that there were, which when you're a sensitive person and you're a giver, which I feel like you guys are givers, well then, and you're in this energy, you're like, obviously, if it's a past life connection, there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of chemistry, but then the person's doing the exact opposite of what you're like, no, like this is not what home is supposed to feel like. This is not what it is. But what you see is that the person is full of fragmentation, which is why they do what they do. And so we can say, what are they going to do? And what, like I said, you'll always notice. You will always notice that they come back when you're done, and then be so surprised that you don't want to be with them. It's like we're going to first look at if like what else is going on internally, because you have to know, because like I said, it's that avoidant that tends to come back if you trigger abandonment, and it's